Hi guys, thank you for joining my first ever video review. This is Project Streaming, reviewing All Your Wrestling Pro Manager. All Your Game Studios is just one developer currently. He's working really hard to make sure the game is at its best as soon as possible. And one thing that I do like is he's quite open to having discussions with people on Discord. I've given a few suggestions to him, and within hours he's put that in a new update and set that out for people, and I like that he's having quite a lot of communication with new players. So we're going to take a look. One thing we are wanting to do is not get fired. One thing we can do is promote wrestlers, we can promote our events, we can create different brands, and also a world editor. Few things I want to touch upon is some of the current problems of the game, and then we're going to look at the game itself, we're going to look at the world editor, and we're going to look at some mods. Now there is one mod currently out there with real life pictures and real life companies. I'm presuming there will be lots more to come, but I'm going to leave all this in the description. I will leave the Discord page, I will leave the mod created and the person who's modified the game as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And let's get the negatives out of the way, because this game is just full of positives and I really want to sell it to people and I want people to enjoy it and see what it's worth. Please bear in mind that during this review, this is very early access, and again, I cannot stress enough how much the developer is really trying to support the players by pushing out updates as soon as possible. So a few things that people have talked about is the design of the characters. Now, personally, I'm going to be playing the real world, but what I do want to do is just show you the world itself. So here we have here, and a lot of people are talking about the AI generated characters. Now, the developer of the game wanted me to explain that he's currently working with a graphics designer, and they are going to be working together to make different images. Okay, a few new features that will be being looked into is the Academy. So this is going to be a big feature later on in the game. You'll be able to have your head of Academy run shows in front of small crowds, and stats of the wrestlers in the Academy will move up or down depending on how good that character is or how good that worker is doing at the time. The developer is also trying to work on different scenarios. I think that will probably give the game just more of a bit of an objective. Currently, it is very much a simulation sandbox game, but by all means, that's fine with me. I just like doing my own thing. Okay, what I want to do is now I'm going to have a look at the world editor before we get into the game. So once you're in the game, you have these options. You can continue playing, start new career, load your game, or world editor. I imagine this is where people are going to spend quite a lot of the time before actually getting into a game. I'm going to use the real world mod. Okay, this is the real world mod. This is created by Gym Leader David, who's been over on Discord working tirelessly to try and get this out as soon as possible. This is his second version. He is constantly updating as well, and I will put the link to the mod for you guys to download. So on the world editor, this is the staff page. Now, as you can see, there are no pictures, but I just want to show you how easy you can add a picture. So let's have a look at Wade Barrett, for example. This is a great website to get different pictures from, and again, I will put this in the link. It's dead easy. Save it, move back to the game, change the image, click your picture, and there you go, you got Wade Barrett with his picture and everything in, and then you can change his nationality, so you can put United Kingdom and everything in here. You can update accordingly or to however you want it. You can change the championships, And that is the editor. Now, currently the TV contracts has not been added to the mod, but again, you can do this yourself. So let's say, for example, you was starting with WWE and you wanted to have Netflix. So we just change this to Netflix, and then we could have, I think they're on about 42 million a year. And we have Netflix there. We will put that it is not offered but active, and we'll give it for 12 months. This will be shown in North America, United Kingdom, and Europe. Okay, save game world. And then we're going to start a new career. Remember to click your world that you're wanting to use. We're going to have opening titles as the current champions. We're going to start the new game as W. So here we have again with the dashboard, we have our TV and we have Netflix. This is part of our company. We're getting £42 million. Well, one thing I have suggested is actually tweaking the TV contracts a little bit, making it so you do earn a bit more money. However, you would have to be a current population. But you can see here, you've got required pop 78. And I like that as a good touch. You shouldn't just be able to start as a small business and get a £1.5 million contract to start streaming your live shows. Speaking of live shows, let's create our first event. And of course, we're going to call it Raw. We'll have it on Monday night. You can upload and choose your own image. Okay, let's look at booking a show. We have our event name, Raw. We've chose our own image. There are genetic ones on there, of course, you can choose your own. We can have a start time. So we'll put 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a weekly show. You can change it premium, live, tournament, special episode, house show. We're going to have a weekly show, and we're going to have a look at where we want to have the show for the next few weeks. Now you can have it as a 4 week, so you could be in New York for 4 weeks. I'm going to have a 12-week in New York, Madison Square Garden, 20,000. It gives you what I like here is all the information. How much your projected profit is going to be. You have to pay a 15% deposit. Very, very good. I like this. It gives you like the cost breakdown of everything. And if you can even afford to hold an event there, you can change things like your entrance pyro. How do you want it? Obviously, the least you have. So if we go stadium fireworks, as you can see, we're in minus. So we need to keep an eye on that. How we're going to market it. A mainstream blitz. We're going to have a national campaign. Again, always keeping an eye on your projected profit. And then once you've decided how you're going to do it, you can set your prices. I'm going to go £45. I'm going to have a VIP ticket. I'm going to charge £205, but you'll be able to meet Chelsea Green. Why not? Okay. We now have a 12-week program. Now you can do this for the whole year, however you want to do it. It's completely up to you. I'm going to do it for 12 weeks. I might move to different states. All right, let's look at booking a show and moving to that show. Okay, let's look at booking a show. Now you can see here that some of these characters are blocked out. That will be because if we have a look at the brand section, we have a Raw and SmackDown brand. Now again, you can add your own brands and you can put whatever you want in there. Back to the drawing board. I'm just going to add a couple of matches here. Let's have Seth Rollins and we'll have Cody Rhodes. This is going to be a match. We can decide if it's a singles match. We can have who we want to win or lose. So we're going to have Cody Rhodes winning. And we will have an outside interference. We get to choose our outside interference. So let's go with Roman Reigns. And we can have the championship on the line, or we can even have a number one contendership title on the line. Then we decide how long we're going to have it for. And then we're going to add segment. Now, you can have a variety of different things. So if you have a look, you've got the bookings, you've got your storylines, which we will come to, and you've got your notepad. The notepad's a really good feature. That's a new feature that's just come in today, where you can write your notes down just so you don't lose track of anything. Okay, so you've got promos, you've got angles, and you've got adverts. Now adverts, again, I've not seen this before in any other management simulation game. I like the advert part because it is important. You have to have adverts in if you've got sponsorships. Sponsorships is a huge part of the game and part of your finances again. And we are going to put an advert in. This impacts the crowd. The crowd don't like this too often. Okay, we're going to have a face-to-face conversation. Right, we have a very small schedule here, but we can move. So we can move the commercial break just before, and we're going to save and exit. Okay, let's move to the event. So let's take a quick look at the pre-show interview. So the security is saying that the floor is buzzing. The live crowd is giving off a signal before the camera roll. You can lean into it or keep the broadcast on the planned rails. So we can add a crowd moment or we can stay on script. We're going to add a crowd moment. There we go. Best connection, Becky Lynch, that's already in. We can pull it or we can move it up. Or we can add more minutes to it. We're going to add another 2 minutes because our Showtime says 57 minutes at 120 minutes. Okay, the countdown clock is already feeling tight. So we can spend on polish, add production spend, but improve the show feel. Cut 2 minutes from the longest segment to protect the clock. Okay, I'm going to cut 2 minutes. There we go. And we have had our pre-show meeting, so we're going to start the show. Okay, the desk is running by, so this information here is the gorilla part of the show. This gives you reactions from the crowd, it gives you reactions from the commentary, and it also lets you know how the feel of the event itself is going. So the first singles match we're going to have is Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, and we're opening the show. And then we get this information here. And the main thing I'm looking at for myself personally is the crowd movement. So we're currently out of 80 of 100. So that means we've had a pretty successful by the commentary saying that the controversy now matters almost as much as Cody Rhodes' victory. So what we are getting is that the crowd enjoyed Roman Reigns interfering. So I might add them into a storyline. It worked. Okay. What is storylines? Let's take a very brief look at what the storylines section is. So in the sidebar, you can select the storylines, and this is what you are presented with. You can create a new story. So you can name it. So we'll go Roman versus Seth. It's going to be a rivalry. You can have title chase, faction, personal issue, underdog run, or mystery. We'll have a personal issue. Link title. So we obviously have it for the World Heavyweight Championship. and then we can add the starting heat. So with the starting heat, the higher you have it up, the more impact you have to have with each week. And then it's just putting in the workers that you want in. Again, you can have a variety. Could put Becky Lynch in there. Could throw CM Punk in there. And then save and pin. And then here we have our segment. We can add to the storyline, we can make it non-active, we can have it completed, we can add notes, weekly notes, and then saved it. Then we go back to storyboard, and all our active storylines are here. It's a nice little feel, it's a nice look as well. It feels like you are looking at a proper storyboard, and you can build up to bigger events if you are running with real life characters. You've got singles match, tag team match, trios match, 4-on-4, 5-on-5 mixed tag, intergender, tag match, and so on and so on. So a good amount of matches you can have in there. And then the promos. Again, you can add what you want in with this promo. You can drag your characters in, and then you've got your angles, which gives you a bit more information: face to face, beat down, argument, respectful handshake, and so on. And there. Okay. Now what we need to be careful here with the producer read is that we also need to have a decisive involvement. So again, that would involve, for me, to have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins working together. And that's what we're looking at, really. This is the events, and I really do like it. I think it is, rather than just creating your event and then skipping to next match, or just getting a little bit of a feel. Because what I can do is I can go, well, actually, this isn't going to work, so I'm going to edit this, or I can pull it, or I can have a crowd reset. So the crowd are struggling, so I'm going to have a crowd reset. I can even move things up, so I know that this crowd reaction is working. We have lost some of the crowd, so I'm going to move that to go next. And we have a +6 on crowd movement. We're going to lose some for the commercial break, but hopefully we're going to gain it back with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, which we did. We got a 42, and we got a final report. And that's the show. Now, one of the comments that I have read is that people wanted video, or they don't like the text-based. This is a text-based genre. If you are looking at playing a wrestling game or a wrestling management game, there are two types. You've got the WWE 2K games, or you've got this management style games. They're always going to be text-based. It's the key features or the added features that I really like, and that's why I'm really liking and pushing this game. We have all the information here, all the different shows. As you can see, All Elite Wrestling are pushing a new show, New Japan are pushing a show. Let's have a look at sponsorships. And here are all our sponsors. Again, every sponsorship has its ups and downs. So we have a +2 for crowd happiness. And then if we have a look at best value, some of our best valued don't actually do well with the crowd. So by actually moving to Titan Bank as a sponsorship, we would actually lose -6 in crowd happiness. So we need to decide whether we want that. It is blocked at the minute because they cannot accept us. I hope you've enjoyed this brief review. There are many more factors to the game, and many more features will be added and are being added constantly. In the description, I've left the mod that I am using. I've left the Discord page for the developer, and also I will leave in the link for the bios and profiles. For now, this has been Project Streaming. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you soon.